back for another episode.
We are. How y'all doing out there?
So we have a new name. It's called Our Little Podcast. We got a little podcast.
Little podcast. Okay. Y'all do got a little podcast.
Right,
yes.
exactly. That's what everybody said. Oh, you trying to do a little podcast? All right. So we just thought, play on words, Our Little Podcast. So if you guys were with us when we were at the Clean Theory, thank you and welcome to Our Little Podcast. We're going to be talking about bullying today.
Listen.
We're going to be talking about bullying today. I want you guys to share all your bullying memories in the comments. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Because I'm going to say suffering for the effects of bullying and a lack of inclusion amongst my peers has affected me. And I still feel the effects. I still feel the effects, to include the way I guide my children and to tell them how to treat other people because how I was treated. So we're going to get into it. You want to go chronologically? What you want to do?
Yeah, we could do that.
What's your first memory of,
my first
that type of trash?
So many situations. I would say it was early on. I was super young. I probably was maybe in kindergarten or first grade.
That's when mine started.
I never had long hair.
Yep.
Never had long hair.
How dare you?
What's wrong with you? When you was in the womb, you ain't pressed long hair?
Right.
Hello? I didn't have long hair, but I look back on all my pictures back because my mother was notorious for taking thousands of pictures. And because she didn't have a lot of pictures of herself when she was a school-age child. And I look back and I'm like, my mother had my hair laid. 78,000 bolitas. That's what we call them in New York. Get your little bolitas. And the parts was neat. It was Vaseline down, Dax grease down, green bergamot gel down. I was cute, but when you in a class with girls whose ponytails are here, or by the end of the day, my kitchen is kitchening, but theirs is not. I don't know why you become the subject of, nappy-headed girl, bald head. Oh, first of all, not only was I bald-headed, I was a bald head bitch with a big forehead. You got the nerve to be bald-headed and have a big head. Yeah, I forgot the program.
And be
give me a small hat. And be brown. And it just was, little stuff, and they would laugh, and it was weird because I remember having people that I was friends with in school, and that kind of changes over time. I will say, I went to one school, PS 75, boom, shout out. That was like my first elementary school. And then we moved. And then I went to PS 84. And then that was the rest of my elementary school experience from, I want to say, 4th grade until 6th grade. I had a best friend when I was in PS 75. She was a white girl. She loved me, Oh, Simone, you have blue barrettes in your hair today. I will say now, looking back on it, I think that part of not just the fact that I had the nerve to be bald-headed, but I also had the nerve to be bald-headed and be cool with a white girl. And
was she the only white chick at your school or in your class?
I don't think so, but it was more Black people, Black and Latino kids. But it was a good amount of white children in that school because of the location. We was like right off of Riverside Drive. And if anybody knows anything about Riverside Drive in New York, downtown, they got money. I didn't live in Riverside Drive, so I didn't have money. But that was that. It was the hair thing. It was always the hair thing. It was always you bald. It was always you bald-headed. It was always your hair's nappy. It was always my forehead was big. I was an alien. Then when we got old enough to know who Sade was, they called me Sade. Of course, now I'm like, do you see this lady?
Right.
She fine.
Right.
And been fine.
Right.
you know, I've always had my neck has always been darker than the rest of my body. It was always, you dirty, you don't wash your neck. And it would come from boys and girls, but it was so malicious from the girls. It was unbelievable. And sometimes I would look at them and I would be like, we look the same.
Right. Now, malicious from the girls, but what from the boys? What word?
Oh, that's a good word. Okay, that's a good question.
I know my word.
What's your word? Because
no, you first.
Okay, I don't know if it was malicious, but
effed up from the girls, but from the boys.
It was worse to me, because boys are loud and they are the center of attention, even with the adults in school. Like, everything is about the boys, right? Even when the boys are wrong, the girls are directed to manage their emotions, manage their feelings. Oh, he just likes you. Da 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 da.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. It's not gonna mean nothing later. Just ignore him. How?
Right.
I'm gonna do that.
Right.
First of all, we in elementary school, so I'm in the same class with these fools all day. We're not changing classes. And it would start from the time I would get to the school, recess, anything, reading time, we take a break, we in the hallway, I go to the bathroom. It was nonstop. It was just all the time. And it was just, then when the boys would say stuff, the girls would laugh and then the boys would get more whatever, because now they have an audience. And it just was, it was terror. That's what it was. It was terrorizing.
So something I just realized is that the whole thing is cyclical, and at the center of it is validation. So the boys wanted the girls to like them, so they clown louder. You wanted the girls to like you, so you kind of cowered. Everybody just wants to be validated.
Yes.
Everybody wants to have friends. Everybody wants to be validated. But of course, different perspective.
And a lot of times, you know, of course, now that you an adult, and you learn some stuff. I've been to therapy for quite some time. You also learn that people tend to pick on you because they are trying to draw attention away from what they perceive to be like their secret, or, you know, maybe they have problems at home and they think that everybody can see that. So in order to before somebody says something about me, I'm gonna go pick on this person, and I'm gonna pick on her because I know she's not gonna say nothing. I can, even when you young, people can scope out whether or not you're going to defend yourself. That don't happen. That don't just happen when you in high school. Like, young kids, they can smell, oh, I can get the best of this person. And then, you know, because then later on, sometimes, you know, you will find out, like, this person, she don't have a mother.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or everybody in the house, she live in a crack house. Or she's being abused, or she's being neglected, or whatever the case may be.
You need to see how the Berenstein Bears taught kids about bullying. Sister Bear comes home and she is a wreck. Her hair is a mess. Her Oshkosh Bagosh jumper is completely destroyed. Sister Bear says there was a bear at school named Tuffy who licked her good and then straddled her and sat on her. Brother Bear goes to the playground and he sees that Tuffy is a girl. This is Tuffy. She wears her name on her shirt, which is so camp. Tuffy tells him she cleaned his sister's clock and he's going to be the next one to get fixed. This is the most suggestive bullying. Mama Bear says because Tuffy's a girl, we're not going to say anything or do anything, and Sister just has to ignore her. But Brother Bear believes in revenge, so he sets up a punching bag in the basement with Tuffy's name on it. They have this whole training montage where Sister Bear is J-Lo and she's had enough. At school, Sister Bear sees Tuffy stoning a baby bird that can't fly, which is like Ted Bundy shit. So Sister Bear's like, stop abusing animals. And Tuffy's like, excuse me? And then Sister just knocks her out. Then a teacher's like, violence? And then brings them both into the principal's office. Oh, did you miss when Little Miss Psychopath was abusing birds? Outside the principal's office, Tuffy is sobbing. And Sister Bear's like, girly pop, I didn't even hit you that hard. And then it gets too real. Tuffy's like, girl, you don't even know what's waiting at home for me. Why do you think I'm like this? Like, where do you think I get it from? I'm petrified at what they're going to do to me this time. Sister Bear's like, oop, sucks to suck. Sorry, my family's here to pick me up and they actually love me. See you later, bitch.
And as I make space for that, but the space is very limited.
It's minuscule.
It's there are walls.
Yeah.
And there's on top of the walls there are concrete bricks.
Yeah.
And that's it, because I still went through it. You still was a terrible person, and thus that has affected me. People be like, "Oh, y'all still mad at stuff that happened to you?" Da 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 blah blah blah. Like, you need to let that go. Like, what?
Right. It's not dismissive at all.
I'm like, well,
it's not dismissive.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you have healed.
Yeah.
And everything has worked out for you, and nothing from your past bothers you.
The doer got some shit to say. It's funny.
Excuse me. And then the older I got, the worse it got, because now you're going through puberty, right? And now you're really paying attention to boys. And, then there's sex on the table, and it's this and it's that. And it's all about the fashion, and it's about what kind of shoes you got on, what kind of sneakers you got on. And it just becomes this big, like, fashion popularity contest. And the older you get, the more vicious the attacks become.
Yep.
And if you're not nice with it, and you don't know how to, you know what I'm saying, like, crack back on people, or because it's not about, and God bless the parents, right? God bless the adults, right? Ignore them. They're going to find somebody else to bully.
God.
They don't. The more you ignore them, the louder they become, because they try and break you.
Yep.
That's what they're looking for. And the minute they see one small little thing, they don't be like, all right, let me go mess with somebody else. They feel victorious. They might leave you alone after that, but then you got to come back tomorrow. And you're going to do it, and we're going to do it all over again.
So there's really no outlet. You can't tell your parents, because if you have parents, like me, they're going up to the school, and because the school is your life, that's embarrassing. So you can't tell your parents. You can't. In my position, I didn't really have anybody to confide in, because the clique was the people that was giving me the most help.
Yeah.
I started school when I was in kindergarten. I don't think they had pre-K 3 and 4 back then. Pretty sure they didn't. So up until I was 5 years old, I thought everything was great. I have vivid memories of watching Mr. Rogers picking flowers out my front yard and just being loved on. You know what I'm saying? But it all switched when I went into kindergarten. And I remember there was this one dude that he was woven throughout elementary school, some of middle school, and a little bit of high school, because we ended up going to the same school.
So you couldn't escape this person.
And it's not that he was the loudest one. He was the one that I had a crush on him since I first saw him. Like, we were like the same height, same last name. The first initial of our last name was the same. So we were always grouped together.
Yes.
In the bathroom line, at lunch, at school, whatever, next to each other in our little cubbies, whatever. And I thought it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Instant crush. He was instantly disgusted. Instantly. I'm sorry. I remember coming to school, and Yola hooking my hair up, and I was always clean, always Vaselined up. My mother took a lot of pride in my appearance, so I was always clean, always neat, always fresh. This dude was just disgusted. And I just felt it. I felt his look early. I felt his looks, and I was just like, damn, man.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
You know, it's not like I wasn't no player, not I was 5.
Right.
So I wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? What's up with me and you?
Exactly.
You know, you want going to swing this time. Wasn't doing nothing like that. It was just like maybe I was sitting next to him or I smiled at him. And as we got older, it just grew. It just grew to the point where I tried to avoid him, but I couldn't because of our last names. Yeah. Our last name, but I still had a crush on him, but I knew not to show it.
Right, because
this dude hated me. So graduated elementary school, went to a different school for 6th grade. My mother wasn't feeling it. She was like,
"What y'all doing?
What's going on here?"
Right.
Then she put me in private school in 7th grade. Get to private school, who's there?
Oh, universe. Thank you.
Yo, when he saw me,
it was instant.
Bitch. It was like, his look said, this bitch, man. I was like,
I didn't do nothing.
I didn't do this. My mother put me, so it was like, it was discussed from then, from like 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and I left the school, and I started 10th grade at another school. But I mean, I just remember it was one instance. We went on an 8th grade camping trip, and you know, our mothers put Jerry curls or a Duke texturizer in our hair. Yeah, yay! You know, didn't want to do my hair, so cut all my hair off as a girl, as a little black girl, putting sheets and shit on her hair, trying to fit in with these light skinned chicks. Okay, so she cut all my hair off, put a Jerry curl in my hair, and sent me on my merry way. Clown, viciously. You understand? Yeah. And I remember this one dude. He was like, I mean, it was like, look, it was clicks, but he was like, the loudest dude.
Always.
You know, tall, skinny, dark skin dude. But when it was just me and him. He was cool.
Yeah, of course.
And I've noticed that is the thing, that is the common link. Like, it was just one-on-one, we cool, but you have to perform for your friends. When I went to 7th grade, there was this one chick that was the ringleader of the clique. You know, the clique, the black girl chick, the clique that I was trying to, you know, get in a little bit. If I was one-on-one with all the other chicks that followed the leader, then we was cool.
Right.
It was real cool. But as soon as it got around her, and she would even make comments, "Oh, y'all, I mean, you friends with her now?" And the chick that was following be like, "I mean, no. I mean, we were just talking a little bit." Like, you can't talk to me because of this hoe? No. Okay. So at this point, not at this point, but throughout school was my life. My brother's 8 years older than me. He was out there getting it. He was in the streets. My parents were popular as hell in high school. So basketball star, head majorette. They didn't get it. No. You know what I'm saying? I had my sister-in-law, but she was engrossed with my brother. You know what I'm saying? She was young herself, like in her 20s or something. And so
nothing.
I have outlet. No. Nobody to confide in. You know, now my kids have you, they have Lee. They have the older sister. They have all their friends. They have everybody. Yeah. But I was just alone a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I would go into this. You know, this is when I was in 7th grade. I would go to the library during morning break because I didn't want to deal with these bitches. Yeah. You know, just some type of escapism. Yeah. So I would go into the library, and that's when I found my love for documentaries. So we got Silver Lining. So I found my love for documentaries, and I watched the whole Eyes on the Prize series.
Amen.
Over and over again. And a lot of other documentaries, because they had a documentary section. And I also started watching musicals.
Yes.
Which is where I fell in love with West Side Story. Know the shit by heart. Yes. Back and forth. It's one of my favorite movies because of what it stands for. You know, that time in my life. But I remember just being hassled all the fucking time, man. Like trying to diminish myself so I'm not noticed. So maybe they'll leave me alone.
Yeah.
Going off to morning break, they about to go into the cafeteria. It's the whole clique behind me. The leaders in the fucking front. The leaders in the front.
Mm-hmm.
I cut off and go into the library in the middle school. So I don't have to be bothered. Oh, she going in the library. She going in the library.
Because the library is a terrible place to go.
So, I'm hell. Anyway, back to the 8th grade camping trip and Jerry Curl. So, so I'm still with these chicks, around these chicks, because there's nobody else.
Right.
Everybody has a clique. I'm at a predominantly white school. These jokers have been together since lower school.
Right.
Okay, I'm coming in this bitch in 7th grade. Who am I?
Right.
Who am I? I get a high, I get a bye. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But on this trip, it was just the same thing over and over again. But it was a lot more concentrated because, it was an overnight trip.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was 2 days or 3 days. I can't remember.
So it's around the clock.
Yeah, it was an overnight trip. Definitely had to get a sleeping bag from my Sunny Surplus. Sunny Surplus. Shout out to Sunny Surplus on Liberty Road, Baltimore, Maryland.
Ow.
Had the illest peacoats. And I just remember going to sleep to it and waking up to it. I remember they had a campfire, and they were all around the campfire singing this song that I will never forget. I'm not going to repeat the shit because I want to put out in the universe. Mm-hmm. Never forget. And the topic was my hair. So I'm sitting there listening to these jokers chant, including my crush still. Mm-hmm. And these hoes that giving me problems all the time chant about my hair, and I'm sitting inside the pavilion or whatever the fuck it was, and just bawling. Mm-hmm. Like, is that all there is in this bitch? Like this is it?
This is what life is going to be like.
I just got to sit in it, and that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm in the 8th grade. I don't know what's in front of me. No. I don't know if things are going to be different. Like I said, again, school was my life. It's all I knew.
Yeah.
So if I'm being mistreated in 8th grade, I was mistreated in 7th grade, mistreated my whole elementary school career. What I'm looking forward to.
Right.
What I'm looking forward to. And I remember going back to validation. Because I was not in the clique, I made friends with other outcasts. Mm-hmm. That's what happens too. If you're an outcast, the other outcasts, and you get together and just be like,
yeah,
let's just be friends.
It's literally like a movie. Like when you see like a romantic comedy or something like that, and it has that element from when they was all in school. It's whoever the outcast was, they always link up with the other weirdos or the other people that don't nobody like. It's not even the reason why it's a repeat topic in the movies is because it literally plays out in life all the time.
But here's where I messed up, and that's where validation comes in. Mm-hmm. Me and her were really cool. I went to my first bat mitzvah. Look, I am from Baltimore City Public Schools. I ain't never seen no shit like this.
Yeah.
I've never been around this type of money. Mm-hmm. I've never been around these type of parties. I didn't know what these Jewish holidays were. I didn't know anything like that. I was really ignorant towards, this whole different type of culture, this whole different type of lifestyle.
Right.
Went over to one of, I don't want to say she was my friend, but she was really cool. We studied together, and I went to her house. Beautiful house. My father pulled up, and I was like, is this a house or like it was just a building? Pulled up. It was around Christmas time. So beautiful Christmas decorations out front, just lavish. Mm-hmm. Beautiful white house. Walked in, Christmas tree in every room. Color coordinated. Yeesh. Color coordinated, every room.
What is that?
Went to that, had dinner. The family was very welcoming. Had dinner with her. Turkey burgers, string beans, and something else. I remember turkey burgers was like that. Made sure that I acted like I had some sense.
Of course.
Because Yula was right here.
Yes.
Hand underneath the table when you eat.
Yes.
Please, thank you. Yes. Yes, ma'am. No, not ma'am. Yes. No, thank you. Please. Blah, 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 blah. Chew with my mouth closed. Mm-hmm. Didn't ask for seconds and thirds. Mm-hmm. Even if I wanted to act like you have some fucking sense. And that's what I did. Yo, it was always right here. Mm-hmm. So just the whole exposure to a whole nother culture was, jarring in and of itself. And I don't want to make this a 2-hour episode, but I absolutely could. And I don't, of course, I want you to, share more.
Of course.
But I went to my first bat mitzvah, and I forget her name. And it was great. It was wonderful. And she invited me somewhere. Can't remember. And I said yes. Can't remember where it was. But then, like, her parents started making plans, and because she was different. Mm-hmm. So her parents were really happy that she had a friend.
Yes.
And she's, her parents were making plans. And then the clique asked me if I wanted to do something with them. Mm. I guess at the same event or something. Mm. Can't remember exactly what it was. What I do.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Of course I want to be with the clique. I want to be with the people I've been trying to get with, since I've been here.
Yeah.
And then called her and was like, I can't do it. Of course, that was trash.
Right.
That was trash. And I happened to mention it talking to my mother, mm-hmm. and she flicked on me, and she made me call her mm-hmm. and apologize. Mm-hmm. Worst call ever. I didn't want to do it. I'm a kid, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to apologize. I'm somebody from the popular group asked me to, ride with him, so I'm gonna ride with him. But she was really hurt. She was just like, just please don't do that again. It really hurt my feelings. And, after she said that, I felt bad. But validation, man.
Mm-hmm. Did you and her like make up, or was it just like kind of like strained after that?
I think it was strained after that. Mm-hmm. Like, cause like I played her, mm-hmm. you know what I'm saying? And for some chicks that was going to end up being mean to me again. And she saw it, you know what I mean? Like, she saw it. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad about that, mm-hmm. Looking back. Not looking back, because I've thought about it, repeatedly.
Before, yeah.
But I felt, it was terrible,
Right. So when I was friends with the young lady, the white girl I was telling you about, I remember I went to her house. She had a swing. Mm-hmm. Now, this is in New York City. This is the Upper West Side of New York. There's no houses. Everybody lives in an apartment, unless you have dumb money and you mm-hmm. got a brownstone.
Jesus.
She had a swing in her apartment. Mm-hmm. She called her parents by their first names. Mm. They were able to climb on furniture, and her mom was still like in the whole hippie thing. She had the part with the long hair, and it was just exposure to different cultures, same thing. And then the people who would sometimes be my friend, sometimes they would clown me, they found out that I was cool with her. Mm-hmm. They found out that like we hung out outside of school. I turned 8 years old. I had a birthday party. My birthday is near to Halloween, so it was a costume party. Mm-hmm. Of course I'm inviting her because she's my best friend. Mm-hmm. Baby, she was punctual. Okay, mm-hmm. So she was the first person at my house. And oh my God, I was so excited. Oh my God, short, going around the apartment. I think I still had a dog at that time. I think we might have had Gizmo. And, playing with the dog, and we were talking. I can't remember what she was. She was some like fairy or something like that or whatever. Very whimsical, very, my mother's a hippie, my dad is a, you know what I mean? Like type of thing. It was like totally on brand. Then my friends, my black friends. Matter of fact, I had left the school and I had went to another school. That's what happened. I went to PS 84, but me and her were still in contact. She came to the party, and they was like, "Who the white girl?" I was like, this is so and so. When I was in PS 75, they was like, everybody played nice, but when I got back to school, oh, Simone got a white friend. She's got a white friend. Oh, you like white people, this and that and the third, and you want to be like her. And I'm just like, and as a result of that, like,
you started looking at her differently.
I started looking at her differently. We fell out of touch after that. Yeah. I tried to find this chick on Facebook. Ironically, when my sister got to high school, her father was my sister's math teacher. And I still was, so much time had passed, I didn't even
feel bad.
Of course, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because she ain't do nothing.
Right.
She was in the womb and she came out because she got 2 white parents. You know what I mean? And we was cool. We had a lot in common. She was fun. She had red hair. She had freckles. She was awesome. And I was not kind to that girl because
you want inclusion.
I want inclusion. And this is also around the time when, this is like late 80s, well, I guess early 90s, probably late 80s, when you had to like pick a side. Like, this is when the whole Black Power movement started. Are you Black enough? All of that stuff. Hip hop was popping off. Public Enemy was a big thing. Identifying with Blackness as a girl, as a Black girl, was like, there was no middle of the road, right? I didn't have any friends who had mixed parents unless they was like Black and Puerto Rican or Puerto Rican and Dominican. And we don't even consider that to be 2 separate, races. I don't remember going to school with anybody who had a Black mama and a white daddy, or vice versa, where the kids have it now. So like race and how they deal with stuff like that, it's not even a factor. But that was a big decision. Like, the fact that I invited a white girl to my house. Mind you, I lived on the Upper West Side of New York. I had a doorman. It totally makes sense that I had a white friend. There was white people all up and down my block in my building. But validation, like you said, and I felt lost, but I felt like I had no choice. I felt like I couldn't even question what I was supposed to do. That was a very poor decision. You didn't have to do it like that.
All right.
But if I have to go back and console my elementary school self, of course, I would extend grace and it's not your fault and all of those things. Still take accountability for, just because somebody else is treating you like shit, you don't treat people who are kind to you like shit, right? And just continuous bullying, people talking about you, people trying to play you, especially in my neighborhood. So I had friends in my neighborhood, and we're all still very cool. Some have moved away or whatever the case may be. And I don't know what it was like for them, but I remember very distinctly, I was a teenager. And I remember we was walking from the school park. We was just out. Just, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember this dude said to one of my friends, he was like, "Why y'all hang with Simone? She make y'all look bad." And they laughed, right? But I look back on it, I could tell they was uncomfortable. But these are boys. These are the fly niggas in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand how to respond to that, right? Maybe they have never been in a clique where y'all really care about this one girl, but for some reason, other people don't. They want to tease her, this and that and the third. And she not saying nothing. Like, she not wild like us. She not, You know what I'm saying? She don't be cursing people out. She don't be fighting like that. She's not that type of person.
Right.
So I get that they didn't understand what to do with that, but it still made me feel like I was alone.